Good morning. Out for a stroll? Good morning. Out for a morning stroll? Central Florida are full of these birds called sandhill cranes. And for real, isn't that the most majestic sunrise? I love it. Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. It's the Daily Woo. This is downtown St. Cloud, Florida, and it has a very rich, deep history, and a lot of it's documented in this book. And I'm going to show some of it. The town is located where that arrow points. That little dot right there in Central Florida is St. Cloud, and it's nicknamed Soldier City because it was started as a colony by the Grand Army of the Republic. Look at that ray of light right there. Looks like something out of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Pretty crazy. Even though most of St. Cloud now resides to the east of this canal, originally most of the consumerism and trade originated down towards the end of this waterway, right over here. It's the most advanced sugar mill of its time, and there's still some remnants of it sitting right over there. You can even see part of the foundation right there along the water, and this was a very pivotal point for the town because this brought people in not only to work but also to live, and they built homes right along this little waterway. So this was kind of sorta the start of St. Cloud, Florida, right here. And most people don't realize it because town is a mile or two to the east of this currently. Check out this photo of this coin that the sugar mill employees would get to spend at the commissary, but it was only good in St. Cloud. And they even grew banana trees along the canal. Look at that. I've never seen any foliage down that little waterway before. The very first person to buy land and settle here in town was this guy right between those two drummers. His name was L.L. Mitchell. In fact, his name is designated on that drum right there to the right. And he was also the first person to die in town. And there was no cemetery yet. So they buried him up the road, and then a few years later, they moved his body to right here, which is now home to a lot of other veterans who also colonized here in town. Lucius L. Mitchell, December 4th, 1909. Shortly after the sugar mill days, people started to congregate and move to what is now downtown St. Cloud here on the left. And this consists of what is currently Pennsylvania Avenue, New York Avenue, and Massachusetts Avenue. And the downtown sections of those three streets are the only areas in town that have brick instead of concrete. On May 7th, 1909, 1,200 plots of land were sold from the building that sat right here where this mural now sits for $50 each. Just think about that for a second. For $100, you could have had two of these owning two properties in town for a cool hundy. The original post office was built in 1909, and it's the building on the right, basically, what you're looking at here. And here's a photo of what it looked like then. You can see it matches up pretty close to what it looked like then. And here's an even better picture of the post office. Check it out. And you can faintly see the outline of where the window was on the far left. It's been boarded and sealed over. The variety store was built in 1911. This is what it looked like then, and this is what it looks like now. And a couple years after, in 1915, the bottom floor became the town's funeral home. It's pretty crazy, right? And I do believe that this is the very first home built in town. They used to have a historical marker on the side, but they've taken it down for whatever reason. This is the very first bank in town, built in 1910. It was St. Cloud's first national bank. And they even had their own currency. Look at this, National Bank of St. Cloud. That's a 10 spot right there. You could have bought 1/5 of a plot of land with that. The original grocery store in town was a place called Penn's Grocery. That's what it looked like then. And this is what it looks like now, almost identical. Another little fun fact, those top windows up there on the right, That was my old apartment. Of course, I didn't live there in 1915. It was a little after that, but that was the building I lived in. By the way, Micah, he's tagging along with me as well. You enjoying yourself?
I am. I don't want to go outside. It's too
Yeah,
hot.
you notice a lot of these shots are from inside my van because the AC is on. You're from Florida, and you admit that it's hot.
Yes, I've learned how to put up with it, but today is a no-go.
It's unbelievably humid here in Florida. I keep saying that in every video, and I will keep reiterating it until it cools down, which is like what, probably like January 1st?
January 1st, it'll cool down 2 degrees.
I'll be gone, and I'll be gone by then. I found this photo of 2 of the original homes when they were built here in town. Check them out back then, and there they are right now. And look at those top windows up there, those 2 top windows protruding from basically the middle of the porch area up top. That's where those 2 guys are just chilling up there after working all day on those 2 homes. It's pretty crazy. They look the same, but you can definitely see the age has set in. This building right here is the old fire department, and you can see where the fire department used to be. They painted this mural signifying a little bit of the past, but there's something very interesting about this mural. Man, so I got interrupted, but basically what I was trying to say is where the mural is over there, you can feel where the door, you can feel the wood transferring into the concrete, and the owner of the building came out and was not happy that I was knocking. He was not happy, right?
No.
He was not happy, which I guess is kind of understandable. In a way, it's kind of understandable, but...
Well, the funny thing is he asked you to explain what you were doing, and then while you were trying to explain, he cut you off.
He wouldn't listen to my explanation,
no.
Which is fine. I was knocking on the wall.
But still.
But usually when someone knocks, you say, "Can I help you?" and then they explain it.
Right.
But he just kept saying, "Don't knock on my wall, don't knock on my wall." And then I asked him, and then he asked me, very, very, very confusing. Anyway, moving on. Right about the time the town started, there was a massive fire destroying a lot of the buildings. And right after the fire in 1917, this building was built. That's what it looks like now. This is what it looks like then. It was a place called Zimmerman's. All the windows match up. Still looks the same. Gosh, that was 100 years ago. Well, 99 years, but who's counting? And check this out. This building looks pretty much the same, except they have put a different facade over it, but the angle of the building is pretty much identical. And some of the buildings downtown have date stamps on it, like this one, Makinson's Hardware, 1914. And that's what it looked like then. And it still pretty much looks exactly the same. Even the doors and windows are in the same spot. And this bank right here is rumored to have been robbed by John Dillinger. I don't think it's true, but that's the rumor. One of the main focal points of downtown is this hotel pictured in this photo, which is where a lot of people were living when their homes were being built originally. And you can see it looks almost identical as it did back then. Of course, some of the awnings aren't there. They used to have balconies going outside of each of the rooms. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. Right around the area that the new city hall is now, right in here, was a train track that ran from that way all the way through town, and they have immortalized it with this mural. And you can see where it says St. Cloud Depot. And right on the side of this building is the old train station right here. So just imagine people here waiting for their train to arrive. This building's still used for events and whatnot, but I would say the majority of town folk now have no idea what that used to be. The inside of the hotel has kind of been kept to the era. You can see where the old check-in desk was. People got their mail. And supposedly the 3rd floor of this hotel truly is haunted. There's been a few ghost hunting shows who have gone to the 3rd floor and snooped around. I think once something gets more than 100 years old, it automatically bemes haunted.
That's it.
That's pretty much the rule.
Yeah.
Once it hits 100 years old, the ghosts come out to
list.
play.
Yeah.
If you're 97 years old, you're not allowed to be haunted yet.
No, you're knocking on the door, but they haven't let you in yet.
Don't talk about knocking. There's no knocking. No knocking.
No knocking in St.
Some guy's
Cloud.
got to come out and yell at us.
Yep.
And they have a mural here, the St. Cloud Fire of 1917. And a lot of the town burned, not all of it, but a few buildings burned just after midnight on July 28th, 1917. A suspicious fire started in a storeroom, and they have put a mural up right here on the side of the wall from an old photo of what the fire looked like after it burned down a lot of the storefronts. Do it, man, do it. I want to see the wheelie. Yeah, look at this. That's awesome. this bandshell and park. This property used to be a cow pasture. Downtown is right over there. So basically past 13th Street, a block or two, is the whole downtown area. And this was the very end of town. This was a huge cow pasture until years later when they built this. And this whole property never ever gets used. In fact, it's weird that this is even here because I haven't seen it used in probably a decade. I'm gonna have a little dinner now, starting with a salad and bread at Shimento's. And it looks like Micah does not like olives. You don't like black olives, right? Do you like spaghetti and meatballs?
Yes.
That's good because that's what has been ordered for you.
Yeah.
The main course has arrived. You're still chowing down on the old salad. But look at this, man.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some boisterous meatballs. Is that a good way to describe meatballs? Boisterous?
Boisterous meatballs.
And in typical Central Florida fashion, it is now raining and lightning and thundering. The storm. You could even say it's raining cats and dogs out here. Although I haven't seen any animals falling from the heavens, but yeah, you get the idea. Look at this splash over here. Look at this. This is what we're dealing with. This is Florida, folks.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
We're not in California right now. This is Florida. Look at that. Look at that water.
If we were probably in any other state, people would be like losing their minds, going out to the grocery store, buying all the canned foods.
Yeah. Here in Florida, people are
we
just
don't
like,
care.
oh, it's a little mist out there.
Yeah, this is every day.
Check out the water coming out of that drain over there. It kind of looks like a monster. It's like a monster like vomiting up some sort of like evil H2O. See it over there coming around the corner? It's like a snake regurgitating liquid hydration for the masses here in Florida. All right, first the heat and now the torrential rain. Hashtag Florida, you so crazy. Vlog over.